May we all humbly bow down to all graces of all Buddhas, Maha-Buddhas, Pratyeka Buddhas, Maha-Pratyeka Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Maha-Bodhisattvas, all the Arahants, the Maha-Arahants, the fully enlightened ones, the grace of fathers and mothers, the great gurus and great masters, the grace of Luang Por Posi Sriya Khemarato, all the Buddha seeds, all the embodiments of the great perfections, please preside over and hold the space for all of us. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all deluded desires and expectations within this body and mind, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, all the mental elements, sensual pleasures, all the add-ons to sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and shapes, with desire, delusive attachment, and delusion, which has been habitual and familiar with such fabrications, lifetimes after lifetimes, with opinions and meanings, identification with all things. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all of these, together with all practices for achievement, for attainment, towards that which is unachievable, unattainable. All the practices of mindfulness, concentration, contemplations, special insights, wisdoms, meditative absorption, meditative powers, supernatural powers, authoritative powers, and all the practice to gain knowledge, for more knowledge, the desire to know and the desire not wanting to not knowing. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all of these. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all curses, all the well-wishing, all the prayers, all the spells towards anyone or anything, all the black magic, all the concepts, belief values, traditions, customs, ideas assumed up without self-purification, creating bondages and conditions to one's life, lifetimes after lifetimes. All these commitments, obligations become overpowering towards one's life, unable to liberate from it, and unable to help others to liberate from it. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all belief values or disbelief, biases, doctrines, dogmas, or the fabrication of religions, opinions and meanings, identification, significance towards anything and anyone. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all vengeance, revenges, all the harbor thoughts to get back to someone, and all the temporary existence of relationships among fathers and mothers, sons and daughters, husbands and wives, gurus and disciples, teachers and students, relatives and friends, enemies, those kind supporters, society small and large, countries, nations, homelands, or even global connections, and on all the connections between humans and non-humans, humans and humans, non-humans and non-humans, including all those from other planets, with all the identifications and meanings and significance. We would like to declare removal and cancellation of all of these, including all the quickness of the mind, wanting to gain, to get, to have, to be, to become, or not wanting to gain, to get, to have, to be, to become. May we all renounce and revoke from all of this from now on. We would like also to declare removal and cancellation of all blaming, in rebuking, creating scapegoats to anyone or anything. We would like to humbly ask for forgiveness for all the rejections we have made towards the graces, the Buddhas, the enlightened ones. Ignoring their words, ignoring their blessing, rejecting the form of their blessing, how they help end causes of sufferings, causes of karma. The case of karma of chasing anyone with great blessed fortune to be away from their living places. To face difficulties and to be like the homeless. We would like to humbly ask for forgiveness for the cases of karma towards all graces in whatever ways, in relating to them through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, with identification, with opinions and meanings, interpretations, and distorting their words, grasping their words and creating different terminologies, leading anyone towards the teachings of the Buddhas in the way for achievement, for attainment. With all the purposes to achieve and having the aim for something towards that which is ungraspable, unattachable. Using the anatta, anicca, dukkha, that which is always shifting and changing, unable to sustain and maintain, meaningless in itself, unattachable in itself. Using such a thing to create and fabricate ways, path. Even the middle path is already made up by oneself, by one's opinions and meanings. We would like to humbly ask for forgiveness for all the fabrication of Dharma. When Dharma is not Dharma, is also ungraspable, unattachable, meaningless in itself, non-self. May everything be released from all vengeance, all the conflicts towards one another, killing, hurting and harming one another. Among humans and humans, humans and non-humans, non-humans and humans, and towards all the non-living beings, towards earth, air, water and fire. May it be released and forgiven from now on. Ahosi, Ahosi, Ahosi. To enable to clear out all the debts of karma, that we have hurt and harmed anyone or anything by just using eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind with fabrications of desires, delusive attachment, and delusion. Adding on with sound, smell, taste, touches, and shapes, with fabrication, like, dislike, good and bad, right and wrong, yes and no, this is it or this isn't it. This is the causes of karma. Let's release this. Let's release all the grasping mind, all the desires, delusive attachments, and delusions, which is crystallized and added in eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, sound, smells, taste, touches, and shapes, in the looking, seeing, knowing, acknowledging, in the desire to know or desire to not knowing, which is the main problem. Such is a habit, a delusion. Let's declare removal and cancellation of all of such a desire to know or to not know. The desire to not wanting to not knowing. This is the problem. It creates a delusion and leading oneself further and further into it. Such is become crystallization of such a habit. And it is the fabrication that is constant in the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Sound, smell, taste, touches, and shape, seeing, looking, knowing, and acknowledging. Hearing, listening, smelling, tasting, touching. Without such fabrication, it creates a delusion, leading one another in it. It is an endless cycle that the samsara is already stuck, circling in it. This is pushed and forced by the grasping mind. Therefore, we need to go in other direction, in the way of giving instead of grasping. Giving that which is ungraspable. So we need to open the mind and extend it in the way of giving that which is ungraspable. How is it? Open up and using the reminders, everything is from not attached, even to the non-attachment itself. Therefore, immediately and instantly, looking, seeing, and knowing through eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, shifting into stepping back. Stepping back from the stepping back itself. It's shifting into helping through unwinding from the unwinding itself. Dissolving in all the intentions to grasp. all the aiming and purposes. Is not grasping, even the non-grasping itself. So this vessel become a medium of opening beyond opening, helping through unwinding. It is the purification of all the grasping minds. All the grasping mind is itself the cause of suffering. It is itself the cause of karma. It is the karma, the causes. When there is causes, there is a result or the effect, which is karmic retribution, in other words. So let's open up beyond opening, using the reminder. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement, attachment or non-attachment, or detachment. Widen out limitlessly, without fixating to anything, without identifying with anything whatsoever. Scatter this essence into universes that are not universes. Then it becomes the brightness and shifting samsara into the land of the enlightenment. Because such is cutting through deluded knowing or not knowing. Cut through the desire to know or not wanting to not knowing. Immediately it's shifting into the essence of the enlightenment, which is given, not to be kept for oneself. And all the idea about being enlightened or not enlightened will be dissolved, because it is not to be grasped. Help samsara cut through such delusion of desire to know or desire to not knowing, or not wanting to not knowing. Let's open up and awaken out of the awakening. Further and further, extensively, limitlessly, through the infinite force, that which is not about being finite or infinite, not conditioned by anything of the mind, not conditioned by opinions or meanings that has been used for eons of times, distorting the essence, forced by one's own desires, even desire to help, but helping in the way that is not cutting through the causes, not cutting through the origin, which is the desire to know or the desire to not wanting to not knowing. Looking, seeing and knowing, acknowledging, hearing, listening, smelling, tasting, touching, without fabrications. Open up for that. Otherwise, always creating karma, creating causes, which is circling in opinions and meanings and fabrications of the mind. liking, disliking, good, bad, neutral, middle way, right and wrong, yes and no, this is it or this isn't it. No is not even no itself. Even this isn't it is not, it isn't it itself. Where is the mind at? It's a trap. Because it is gonna lead oneself into its direction and branching out into more forms and variations of itself. One will be lost in it. It's called being deluded to the grasping mind. Helping one another to be unwound from the attempt to be unwound itself. Helping one another to cut through deluded knowing, to the desire to know or desire to not wanting to not knowing. Cut through immediately by itself when we open and scatter the infinite force into everything, instead of leading oneself with opinions and meanings, wanting to know this and that, collecting more knowledge, or not wanting to not knowing in that endless cycle, which is itself creating conflicts and problems in this world and samsara. It's starting there. When you are holding on to goodness, you want to help everyone out from suffering. Let's be direct. Cut through at the origin instead of at the end result, because such an end result is an endless cycle itself. One will keep on helping someone endlessly. By not helping from the cause, it's gonna be endless help. Let's be direct and clear out, renounce from all commitments, conditions, concepts about helping, about liberation of suffering, because such a thing doesn't exist. Everything is liberating in itself already as it is. All such a concept is made up by one's own mind, whether it's from your teacher or yourself. Be true, the noble truth. Nothing is in anything. And use this noble truth to help unwind for samsara, to help end instantly for any desire, delusion, and delusive attachment adding on to the mind right now. Helped in moderation. Don't intervene anyone's karma and karmic retributions, because one will be trapped in such endless cycle of grasping. because karma and its retribution originate by the grasping mind. Therefore, we need to help unwind from it, from the grasping mind. Therefore, we need to help open up in the way of giving instead of grasping. Giving the ungraspable. Giving that which is not being finite or being infinite. Beyond the beyond. Then it can purify the grasping mind, which is the karma of all beings. Be clear at this point. Otherwise, the help is gonna be in the cycle of samsara and being trapped by samsara's karmic retributions of the grasping mind. Grasping even for goodness is also a cause of karma. Let's be clear at this point. So let's awaken out and be enlightened to this truth. Cut through the origin, the cause of karma, so that the opening towards cutting through the cutting itself will be in everyone and everything that is fabricated by the grasping mind. Let's open up and help all together proceeding in the way of everything. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement. Awaken out from the attempt to be awakened or to be enlightened. From all concepts, ideas, customs, traditions, belief, disbelief, biases. Awaken out from all doctrines, dogmas, from all the purposes which is itself under the law or characteristics of constant changes, meaningless in itself, ungraspable in itself. If trying to sustain and maintain is going to be suffering. Trying to maintain or sustain itself has frequencies which create weights. The weight, which is the suffering itself, the unbearableness itself. So let's proceed together with everything. Everything is from that which has nothing to do with involvement or non-involvement. Grasping or not grasping. Attachment or non-attachment or detachment. And extend this, scatter this infinite force into all and everything. This is the purification for the grasping mind, which is existing in every being, and even the non-beings in the samsara.